Tech with Heart. I am your host, Michelle Calloway, and today I am delighted to be talking to you about the 3 tips for business survival, especially during uncertain economic times like we've been experiencing through the COVID pandemic during 2020. And our guest today is an expert in overcoming adversity. And so what better person to talk to us about how we can be successful in business during tumultuous economic downturns than Jerry B. Bowden. He is an international bestselling author, speaker, and the president of REVEALiO, which is software and media solutions. Welcome to the Tech with Heart show, Jerry Bowden. Woo!
Thank you, Michelle, for the warm and very inviting intro, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Jerry. I know we wanted to mention that you just launched your book, Wish Sandwich, which is actually an autobiography. And I read it, and I'm very moved and compelled to share this book with others who are indeed experiencing adversity, whether in business or otherwise. I know it's going to touch a lot of lives and make a big impact. So congratulations on your book, Wish Sandwich.
Thank you. I'm very excited to have written the book. It's international bestselling. I'm an international bestselling author now, and it's just exciting. It's overwhelming. I'm overwhelmed with excitement.
Well, we're happy with you, and we're going to talk a little bit about elements of your book, but we're going to talk about how those, I guess, things that we can learn from your stories in business, because you're a business owner, and I know the byline of your book is called A Black Man's Journey from Ghetto to Glory, and that's perfect. I mean, it's your story. It's unique to you. You overcame a tremendous amount of overwhelming adversity. So that should help us all feel like empowered and inspired to push through whatever it is we're facing. But when it comes to business, let's go ahead. I mean, let's start talking about the 3 tips that will help businesses survive tumultuous times. And one of those I know we should be talking about is the need for a mentor. Now, your story, it starts when you were a boy growing up in Brooklyn, and then you ended up having to live in a boys' home, and then moving all the way up through being a professional musician, and now you're the president of a tech company. So what can you speak to those that are listening or watching about the need in business to establish a mentor to help you along the journey? And what would it have meant to you if you had one back when you got started?
Well, as you mentioned, Michelle, I did grow up in a broken home situation, and I was in a children's home. And because I was in a broken home, I didn't get much mentorship. So when I went to the children's home, I was taught a lot of different things by a lot of different people. I was guided by a lot of different people and taught a lot of different things. And in particular, they taught me how to, build good character, to do the right thing, and to work hard, and you're worthy, and with doing those things, you will have success in life. So those are the things that I learned in Woody Crest. But I think having a mentor is very important because it will keep you on track. It will help you get through the difficult times, and it will help you also identify where you're going and how you're going to get there. So it actually provides you with a map, having a mentor to help you map your way through to your goal. So that's my experience with mentorship.
A lot of people that are entering the entrepreneurial world, if they've never done it before, they honestly don't know what they don't know, and that could potentially cost them a tremendous amount of resources, monetarily and otherwise, time, just team. You could burn out a team if you don't really know where you're going. So if you had a mentor you have an overwhelmingly positive attitude. I'm just be honest with you. After reading your book, you just kept rising up from the ashes, and again and again. I mean, talk about phoenixes rising. That seems to be you over and over again. And in business, the goal is to not crash and burn, right? You want to be successful. So if you had somebody earlier on in your life mentor you and guide you, what would you say would have been the biggest difference between what you experienced in your life versus, what you know now?
Well, I definitely would have been on track to avoid a lot of the pitfalls that I actually experienced trying to navigate through life. If I'd have had a mentor, someone to guide me and tell me that this is not the right thing to do, Jerry, and this is the wrong thing to do, and this is the right way to go. So having a mentor would have helped me tremendously avoid setbacks, avoid wasted time, avoid wasted resources, and stayed focused. I mean, there was so much more I could have accomplished if I had a mentor, because I was in position to do a lot more. And fortunately, like you mentioned, I was self-driven. I had a motor, man, that would just go, 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 no matter what the circumstances were, no matter what the mistakes, no matter how many mistakes I made, I was able to always move forward, overcome those mistakes and move forward. So that's just one of the things I had. It was a natural ability for me to move through those difficult circumstances. But I definitely think that if I would have had a mentor, I could have been much more, and much less grief.
So those of you who are listening that are in entrepreneurial, or you're entering, or you wanting to figure out how you can get beyond maybe some barriers that you're hitting, I think the first takeaway from this conversation is to find somebody who's where you want to be. Share with them what you're experiencing and see if they have any advice for you. There are a lot of people that are successful at this high level of success that are very open to sharing their wisdom and knowledge. If you do indeed seem genuine and are willing to put in the work, they won't have any problem giving you little tidbits of guidance, because successful people really do genuinely want to help others be successful. They're not all about just hoarding it all for themselves. And so don't be afraid to ask questions. And if you are just getting started and you have your plan and you're ready to start taking action, just find somebody to run your plan by and see if you can get another set of inputs, because you never know the plan that you've created. It may look great on paper, but maybe somebody else knows something about the plan that you've put in place and they see a pitfall that could devastate you, that may not be there right away. You may not even see it coming till 6 months down the road. But it's really a great idea to get more people's input who are there where you want to be, and just get that input. So that's a great one. Number one, mentor. Find a mentor in business and otherwise in life. If you are struggling with life, you can go and find somebody who's where you want to be and see if they can give you some guidance. Wouldn't you say, Jerry?
I'd say that's very true, because when I did find a mentor, and I found multiple that actually suggested to me the things that I should probably pursue, because I was struggling at times, trying to get a job, and so and after I got out of college, and I had a mentor, a fellow that I have never met, just met one time, and he shared with me and said to me, "Hey, have you thought about pursuing further education?" And I've heard that before from one of my professors when I was in undergraduate school, and they would say life is learning is a lifelong process. So those kind of tips really helped me move forward.
Yeah, it's amazing how one statement could potentially unlock a humongous barrier that you're experiencing in business. So great tips. Okay, let's move on to the second tip. The second tip would be resilience, how important it is to be resilient in business. And let's speak a little bit about that. Jerry, you had so many experiences in your life where you, like we mentioned, you rose up from that. You just kept going, and you see that same exact mentality needed in business, wouldn't you say?
That's
What
true.
what can you share with the entrepreneurs that are listening about the need to just never give up and determination?
It is about determination. That is the word, the magic word. And that's what kept me going, because whenever I had a setback or a slowdown where things weren't going the way I thought they should go, and I get frustrated, I would find another way to regenerate or rekindle that drive that I needed to get to the next step. So for example, when I got out of college or graduate school, I still couldn't find a job in the area that I lived in, and it was frustrating. So I decided that I was going to go to a state where it was really the job market was wide open for planners. That was my graduate major was a planner, land use planner. So I went to California, and I went there really with not a lot of money. I didn't have much money at all. I was hoping that I would land a job by just applying to all these different jurisdictions in California. And there's a lot of them I went to. And I did get a couple of interviews, but I was frustrated because I didn't get hired. So I had to drive back home without a job. And I was so frustrated. And I didn't think I was ever going to get a job in my field. But I didn't let that stop me. I just kept knocking and knocking and finding other resources and other people that would be willing to help me get my foot in the door. And being a planner, a land use planner, is a very difficult occupation to start in. So I was running into all kind of hurdles and barriers that kept me from getting my foot in the door. And then one day I got an internship, and that was the start of my next venture and adventure. And that's when I did the internship for a year, and then after that internship, I got a job interview in California again. This was in Northern California, and I didn't have much money. I had family, 2 kids, my wife, and I just decided that I needed to do something. Otherwise, I wasn't gonna be very successful in getting a job in where I lived. So I decided to get in the car, take my kids, and we drove to California for the interview. And when I got there, the planning director was so impressed with my drive and my willingness to drive thousands of miles with my kids in a broke down car. Just about, it wasn't a brand new car, it was an older car. And he was so impressed with my determination to get there that he eventually offered me the job. So that's where I think resilience is definitely an important part, because you don't quit, you never give up, because you never know when you're going to have that breakthrough.
I had one person tell me at one time that when I mentioned to them that I was a, entrepreneur trying to get a tech company, growing back in when we first got started in 2016, they said, well, first of all, congratulations. And second of all, you do know that you picked the hardest type of industry to enter, right? Entrepreneurs, they are the risk takers, but the reward for the risk when you step out and you start to serve people with the need that they have, that the problem that you're solving, it is so incredibly gratifying to know that you're doing something that impacts the world, really. And so we need entrepreneurs, but we don't want entrepreneurs to think that when things get really, really tough, that's when it's time to fold in, throw in the towel, I should say, and fold up your business. That's incredibly important to go back to that original mentor that we spoke about. You need to have somebody who's been through it, because I can guarantee you that if you have a mentor that's seen success multiple times, that they probably have gone through their fair share of pitfalls, and they can probably help you navigate around the roadblock that you're experiencing right now. It's amazing how many resources are out there if you just maybe look in a different direction for a different way around that roadblock. There's a graphic that shows that usually success is like just a roadblock away, because there's somebody that was picking for gold, right? And then they were so close to the gold, but they stepped away right before they reached it, not being able to see it. And it's unfortunate, because had they just kept pressing on just a little bit longer, pushing through that adversity, they could have experienced a tremendous amount of success.
That's true. That's so true. That story's in Think and Grow Rich, and it's a great story about this fellow who borrowed some money from his friends and family and went out west and to explore for gold. And he found a little vein of gold, and he paid all of his investors off with it, and then he continued to mine, and then the vein ran out. And so he thought, he just dug and dug and dug, and he thought that there was no more gold left. And so he decided to sell the mine. So he sold it to the guy who sold him all the equipment, and the guy who he gave the equipment back to decided he was going to get an engineer. And see, that's another thing. You need to really explore mentorship, because this guy went and got an engineer, the geological engineer. The geological engineer went out there, did a survey, and they said, "Oh, the gold just changed direction here. It's about 3 feet over from where this guy stopped digging." So the guy starts digging out there, and he finds this very, very rich vein of gold, and he becomes a multi millionaire. And so the moral of the story is, you don't quit, and you find mentorship, someone who can help you explore something you don't know.
Yeah, bring in experts. Bring in experts. You gotta not pretend that you think you know enough. I mean, we don't. One person can't possibly know everything that they need. They need expertise. And that's why masterminds. That's another thing that came from the Think and Grow Rich book, is that the idea of surrounding yourself with masters and experts and meeting together and gleaning from their expertise. And you, of course, provide your expertise, so everybody wins. That's like the value of a mastermind. So yes, resilience is huge. Not giving up when things get really, really tough. Finding new and innovative ways to work around, bringing in experts, seeing if there's a way to get where you need to go quicker. There's different resources that could provide funding. There's plenty of opportunities out there to survive. We just have to think outside the box sometimes. And resilience is the attitude and the characteristic that you need. It's a stick-to-itiveness. It's a perseverance beyond anything that you've ever experienced, a determination, a drive, a purpose, a passion, and knowing that you are meant for more and that you will never be okay quitting. I mean, that's the mentality. You have to keep pressing on. My mentor says that when you look at business growth and success, it should not be looked at as linear, where it's just a straight line. It's holistic. There's so many different aspects that all have to be like grown at the same time. And a lot of it is mind. You have to be able to realize that maybe you're stuck because you're stuck here. And that's where, again, the mentor can really help. So let's move on to the third point, which is vision. So vision, you have to be able to see big. You have to think big. And Jerry, tell us a little bit about the vision that business owners need to have, especially in the realm of adaptability as the business landscape changes, and specifically technology.
Well, as you know, business owners must be adaptable, especially during these times of technological changes. I mean, technology is changing every minute, every second of the day. So you have to be adaptable. So innovative companies like Amazon are crushing businesses like Rolay tablets. So businesses need to become competitive and be relevant and adapt and take on and embrace technology, because that's the only way that they're going to thrive and survive in today's technological world.
I know when COVID hit and everybody became, shut down on the physical front, then everybody had no choice but to start diving in and getting more, visibility online. And there was this huge panic for people in business that have not bothered to really embrace the technological aspect of being in business and doing business online. And, it was unfortunate because it's not like this is a brand new concept, but it's just really weird how some business owners just kind of, they do what they've always done and it's always worked, but they don't pay attention enough to what's happening around them so that they can start positioning themselves to be more competitive. It's really quite fascinating that they think that it's just because it's working now, it means it's always going to be working. What would you say how important it is to keep your eye focused on what's happening around you?
It's very important, because as the president of a technology company, I've had to reinvent myself, learn a lot of different new information about technological changes. I had to become aware of new technologies, and at the same time, I had to figure out ways to strengthen the company, to make it stronger, to make it to help it grow, and to help it become more successful. You know, one of the things that I think that business owners miss, and you mentioned it, that they are kind of like old school. They're used to the traditional way of doing things, and there's so many new technologies out there that they could do to make themselves more efficient, because efficiency in today's world is what being successful is all about. You need to be efficient, like have a CRM system, or integrate your systems, and things like that will help you be more competitive. And so I think those are the things that we've done in our company. We've created new systems, and we've integrated systems to become more competitive. And that's what people need to do.
Yeah, I think that there's this mentality that I've seen a lot, that business owners, especially small business owners, mom and pop shops, they tend to feel very overwhelmed by technology. And so they know in one breath that they need to adopt it, but it's like not been a burning desire, or need, I should say, a burning need for them to actually take action until COVID hit. And then they're behind the curve by like leaps and bounds at that point in time. So it's sometimes, too little too late. And that's not cool. And isn't that why we started Tech with Heart Foundation in the first place, right?
Exactly.
We
And
started
that's
Tech with
exactly
Heart.
what I was going to segue into.
Yeah.
Is why we established Tech with Heart Foundation, is to help small businesses and to empower them, and to give them the tools that they need at at an insignificant price. Price point. I mean, we don't really charge money for them to interact with other business owners and learn from other business owners, and utilize existing services that business owners are offering. So the Tech with Heart Foundation is a great resource for business owners to get involved in, because the Tech with Heart is exactly what it says. It's technology with heart, and we help business owners thrive and evolve into the latest and the most emerging technologies that are out there.
Yeah, we want to help businesses to be successful for long-term success, setting you up, utilizing technologies that are existent. It's not like it's brand new technology, but to help you embrace technology so that you are incorporating it into your business, into your systems, to create some level of automation to speed up your delivery, because people are getting shorter and shorter attention spans. If they buy, they want it like next day. Amazon's kind of, like you said, it's crushing businesses left and right, because they figured out what the customers want, and they've modeled their entire business off of what their customers want. And that's kind of like set the bar really high for a lot of us that are small business owners to create systems within our business, so that we aren't fumbling around in the dark trying to figure out how to keep track of everything and make sure the delivery is right. I mean, there's so many amazing tools available for business owners. So if you are an entrepreneur and you want that kind of support, Tech with Heart is just one network that you could potentially join that will provide you with ongoing empowerment, different trainings, different experts coming to the table, sharing their expertise. We're going to be hosting a lot more live networking events virtually in 2021. Just go to techwithheartnetwork.com if you'd like to join there. Right now it's free. There's different levels that will be paid, that you can get more visibility as an influencer and or as a business owner, and partner with us and share the word about Tech with Heart Foundation, because we are a brand new 501c3 who needs a lot of experts to join the force to provide more and more value and insight and support for entrepreneurs in America. Small businesses are the cornerstone of America, and we need to support small business growth, because 2020 has gutted the small businesses of America, and we want to provide support in a way to help them rebuild, to pivot, to adapt, to embrace technologies, and to be able to, survive, but yet thrive really soon in 2021. So Jerry, is there anything else that you can share with us as the president of a technology company? And then we'll just kind of finish out strong with a little bit more about your book.
Well, yeah, being the president of the company, it's a lot of things that I'm involved in. But I would say to entrepreneurs and business owners who are wanting to be involved in technology is to connect with a technology company similar to ours, because we're a company that really helps small businesses grow, and we provide services for small businesses at an affordable rate. So we're a great company to connect with. We got a lot of experts on our staff, and you can't go wrong with connecting with REVEALiO.
REVEALiO being the sponsor of the Tech with Heart Foundation.
That's correct.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about Wish Sandwich, and what are some of the principles that somebody can expect to learn more over than what we've talked about, which is obviously resilience and overcoming.
Well, that's pretty much the whole book in a nutshell. But Wish Sandwich is a book about choices, really. And you have choices throughout life. You have a beginning and an end slice of life, and what you put into that sandwich, that life sandwich, is entirely up to you. So the book sort of outlines how I ended up creating my sandwiches, that the struggles I went through, the difficulties I went through, the mistakes I made, and but in the end, I found glory, and I found that God was paramount in my success and where I am today. And so I just want to implore people to read the book and to see the different principles that are in there in regards to being capable of overcoming, being capable of dealing with mistakes, and not letting those mistakes define you, or dealing with circumstances that you may be involved in, but your circumstances do not limit you. So there's a lot of information in this book that will empower people, especially young people who don't know really where they want to go right now. And so the book will kind of give you somewhat of a guideline in terms of not making the same mistakes that I made.
I love that. I love the fact that you said mistakes do not define you. In business, failure is part of the growing process. Failure is not time to throw in the towel. Failure is time to learn and grow from the failure. And seeds are being planted all around when you're growing a business. Think of the word growing. Some of those seeds are going to take root in good, fertile soil, and some of them won't. But it's not time to throw in the towel and walk away just because you're not seeing the growth that you thought you would see at the times that you thought you would see it. Again, let's go back to those 3 tips to help any business survive: mentor, resilience, and vision. Stay adaptive. Grab hold of leaders who are already where you want to go, and don't ever throw in the towel. Don't ever quit. You are meant for more. Thank you so much, Jerry, for joining us today, and thank you for tuning in to the Tech with Heart show. Again, if you are interested in joining the Tech with Heart Network, which is all about empowering business success in a digital era, please visit techwithheartnetwork.com. If you're interested in getting interviewed yourself as an expert to provide value back to our entrepreneurial audience, just reach out to us again at techwithheartnetwork.com. Thank you for listening today. Have a great day.